This video recording is to take the place of the Module 1 overview meeting since we ran into technical difficulties using Moodle Chat. Because of that, it will be longer than what most videos are when we embed them in the classroom. The first thing on our agenda was the calendar, so I want to go over the calendar issues for you. We did demonstrate in our last video. I suggested that you do keep the calendar block undocked so that you can always see what's coming up. So calendar and upcoming events, you can see quickly what's due, what day it is, and then you can click on them to see. So I just want to remind you that the meetings are required. The meetings are only for every module, so they will not be for every week. If you go down the upcoming events, you can see it that way. Or you can click on the specific date. So for instance, on the 15th, which is this coming Sunday, we will have a meeting because Module 2 will open on the 17th, and we'd like to introduce you to it before you actually see the event so you know what's going on in the upcoming module. After that, it's basically every other week. Due dates are also indicated. Please remember that this is a completion course, so you do not get an unacceptable simply because a due date has not been met. However, you cannot get an exemplary on anything you turn in after the due dates. We have found in my experience in teaching this course that it really is important to stick to the due dates. Missing due dates makes it difficult to catch up. By the way, this is Rochelle speaking and leading you through. I'm taking point on the first two meetings, and Teresa will be providing back channel support as she did last evening. A couple of things I want to point out in the general section, and the first is the course questions, and this is a great place that if you have questions or concerns, you can post it in there. A lot of times you will find the answer either in the handbook or in news that we've already posted, but it's a great idea to post a discussion topic and others can respond to that discussion. One of the important elements of an online course or the online portion of a blended course is that the teacher's not providing all of the feedback or one-on-one with the students. The students should be working to support and move one another forward also. And you can see that when you view the video resources, they talk about that difference. And we support that in this course by the course questions. Social networking, I've seen people have already gone in and had some fun in there, so that's great to see. Our office hours are set up for chats. For those of you who tried to attend the chat on Sunday evening, I can tell you that's not how the chats normally work. We actually used the chat not just for office hours, but for our meetings in the course that I taught last semester or last session, and they worked quite successfully. So we are working on that issue. It is a server issue. We're working in a new server, and the project managers are well aware of it, and we're working through that so that won't happen again. Because this class is for credit and it doesn't assign grades, it's very important that you meet an acceptable standard. I want to point this out to you in our instructor or in our classroom handbook because there actually is a rubric for you that you're going to want to use. There's a discussion forum rubric and an assignment rubric. So you will see that unacceptable when it comes to post for discussion rubrics, you can see what they're looking for. You need to meet the acceptable level. You also can see that when it comes to exemplary level, you have gone above and beyond what the requirement is. So if you see one of the highlights here is includes high quality research references or additional resources or above the minimal requirements. So I know sometimes as teachers we're wanting the highest grade. We set high expectations for ourselves. And Teresa and I just want you to see that exemplary is not going to be used just because you completed everything. That really is something that went beyond what the assignment called for. Acceptable is the standard, and this is what you have to meet in order to get a successful rating. Anything that's marked unacceptable throughout the entire course must be redone. If there's any part of the course that is marked unacceptable, then you will not be earning credit or eligible for your free Snagit license at the end of the session. The assignment rubrics are very similar. We have unacceptable, acceptable, and exemplary, and we will apply the same criteria. Acceptable is the standard. Unacceptable means that something has been done incorrectly or at a level that doesn't demonstrate your understanding or what our expectations are. Exemplary is you've gone above and beyond, but it does not mean you're getting a higher grade or extra credit. Going back to our course orientation, there were just a couple more things that I wanted to highlight for you. Please make sure that you have downloaded your time log, and in the task to complete before moving forward, one of the things is that you have to personalize your account. The uploading of a picture is very important. Many of you have already done this, and some I think are just working your way through as you got into the meeting, but it's very important that you reset your profile and make sure that you have an image on there. That's the way we connect with an online course, and it's important that we actually see your face. For those of you who have already done most of the course introduction, I hope you enjoyed the Meet Your Instructors session and the Getting to Know Yourself and One Another that Teresa and I put together for you. Again, in the past sessions, we found that those type of questions make us more of a community. We understand where one another are at, what our philosophies are, and introduce a little bit of social media and how people interpret or think they know about us when using social media. So that was our intent as we moved through course introduction. As I'm finishing up course introduction, I would like you to take a look at the boxes that are located over on the right hand side. And you will see there are two different types of boxes. There are solid line boxes, and then there are dotted line boxes. The difference between the two are the solid line boxes are the things that you check when you have completed them. So I've taken the course tour video. I can mark that I've already accomplished that. But when you see something with a broken line, that means the instructors or the project managers have set up the assignment that there are criteria that you need to meet or certain things to complete before it is checked. So you can see in this case, I have met the requirements for the Meet the Instructor and to getting to know one another. Please make sure if you think you have already done the assignment that you go back and actually check that you submitted what you needed to before you use the check mark, but that is an important organizational tool to move forward so when you come in you can see right where you're at and what you need to do. The module that is open now is the first module, What is Blended Learning? At this point you can ignore the chat, that didn't work. But I want to introduce you to the course because this is what everything will look like. And Anne did a good job of this in her course overview. We always talk about an introduction, a little book, and it does tell you what your learning objectives are. Then you have lessons and assignments that go with them. This is very important when we come to the assignment for district support and resources. And in Module 1, most of the time that is what most people have gotten stuck on. And that's because you're required to contact administrators and tech people in your building or your district. In order to move forward, they need to know what it is you're going to use or wanting to use. And you also can often find resources that you didn't know you had. This can be difficult as most time teachers and the tech department have not communicated one-on-one or together, so it's a new process. Please know that you can continue to move through and work on the rest of your assignments while you're waiting for that process. You can contact Teresa or I at any time if you have any questions about that. And then in the resources, we have our meeting schedule, which actually we have put our meeting schedule in the calendar, so that is not updated. But you have a reflection, and you will have to do the reflection after you have completed the district support and resources in your implementation. The put and take is a great way for us to share with one another things that we find along the way that support the learning process. In my last session, I actually created a Google form so that we could have access to it when we were outside of our course. When we finish, we still have that as a resource. And if the participants are interested in doing it that way, we can follow up with our meeting on Sunday, and I would be happy to make one for us. At the end of each module, you will also see that there's an upcoming informational. So your next course or your next module is going to be time management and balance, and that will open on September 17th. And again, that is why we will host another meeting this Sunday at 7 p.m. in order to give you that introduction to the second course, or the second module, excuse me. It is important as you're going through the course that you do complete things in order. So for instance, the district support and resources, you need to open up that assignment, you need to be working on that assignment, and then if you're at the place where you're waiting for responses and it's been a while, then you can move forward, but you would never skip something. It's important that you use your check marks to keep you moving forward. We do scaffold the assignments and the lessons, and because this is a completion course, you can do 80% of the course at an exemplary level, and if you don't complete 20% of it, then you don't get credit. So it's important that you don't miss anything and that you go through, check the boxes off, and continue to work in order. Next, we want to remind you of our face-to-face sessions that are coming up. For those of you who registered for the Holt session, it's going to be on the 19th. And for those of you who are scheduled for the Midland session, it is on the 26th. In Midland, we are at the Midland Public Schools Administrative Building from 5:30 to 7:30. It is required that you attend the face-to-face, so even if you're working in the course, that one face-to-face is required, again, in order to earn credit. At the time that you come to the meeting, you will need to bring your $10 fee. The course is only $10. That's to take care of your continuing ed credits or your sketchies, but I do need to have those at the time that you sign in. Because of credits, it is important that you are there on time, so I would plan on being 10 minutes early, so at 5:30 we can have everyone signed in and begin with your $10. The other thing you will find on the calendar is our office hours. Rochelle, that's me. I will be holding office hours on Sundays from 8 until 9. And Teresa will be holding her office hours on Wednesdays. And her office hours will be from 7 to 8. We are available at other times. Please use the participants and the message system. And I will say that if you're sending a question directly to Teresa or myself, please send it to both of us. That way we won't end up in the back end taking care of the same issues twice, and you won't end up with messages from both of us. Teresa and I both want to thank you, especially those who attempted to attend the meeting last evening, for being so patient as we work through technology. Occasionally these things do happen, which is why we have a backup that we can do a screencast for you, cover the information, get it out to you in case there are technical difficulties. Please record the half hour that you attended on your time log, but also record the time that it took for you to get through this. Even though it will be less than 15 minutes, it will take time for you to then go back through all of the information, so you can record your full hour. For bookkeeping and hours accountability, if you would just hit the reply to this latest news where this is posted and make a little note, either with a question that you have that we can follow up on, or just a little note that says, I viewed the Module 1 overview meeting video. Thank you, and we will see you next Sunday evening for our Module 2 overview meeting.